kickoff unit all lined up, and we're ready to put toe to leather. He'll bring it back from inside the 15. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. The give out of the gun. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage.
That back had absolutely nowhere to run the football. Actually, is he counting? I think he's counting to make sure there's only 11 guys on defense.
They got nothing on the last play. It's 2nd and 10. Now the play fake. Unloads to the wideout. Finds a man in the middle. And works it to the 40-yard line. That'll be a first down.
Man, what makes this offense so difficult to defend is they've got receivers that have speed and that can separate. On the first drive of the game, they found a soft spot in the middle of the field, and they took advantage.
The offense lines up at the 40. They've got a first down. To throw, it's Kelly. Fires to the tight end. He gets it out across the 45 and out of bounds at the 46. Always nice to have that security blanket of the tight end.
And it's nice to have a tight end that can line up in different areas of the field, too. It's not always going to be in a three-point stance. He can sometimes be in the backfield. You could flex him out into the slot. They might even try to put this guy out at wide receiver in the split end position and see what he can do there, because this guy is a weapon.
Puts it out of the air. A quick tackle made, but he's got plenty for the first down.
You got to give the O-line a lot of credit there because it gave the receiver time to work all the way across the field on the drag route against zone coverage. Quarterback gets it to him. He's able to turn it up and get a first down.
Now across the 50 and at the 48-yard line. They'll have it 1st and 10. Wants to throw on first down. Got his man quickly.
Now, you've seen the evolution of these slot receivers. They're just matchup nightmares. They're hard to get your hand on. A lot of times, they're off the football. You can't jam them. These guys are so productive, and offenses really feature their best players most time in those slot positions.
And here comes the offense on 2nd down. He'll keep it himself. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage.
Really nice job by the defense playing responsibility football, making sure the quarterback couldn't make any of his reads, making sure the picture is not clear, getting downhill, getting the quarterback on the ground.
This feels like 4-down territory, 3rd and short from the 40. Quarterback touch pass on the jet sweep. Turning it on! He's finally stopped and brought down at the 15.
I love that play call, and I love the timing of the pre-snap motion. Because the quarterback was able to get it to the receiver right behind the offensive line, because of the timing, he was able to outflank the defense. That puts him out in space where he's able to use his speed. Nice job with the pre-snap motion and timing.
Out of the shotgun, they go to the ground. Headed to the end zone. Keep it on the ground, and he's in for the touchdown.
And they talked about it this week with us. They talked about wanting to start this football game fast. Nothing like taking the opening possession, using your script to your advantage, and then getting closer and exerting your physicality, running the football in, off to a hot start for this offense.
Getting ready for the extra point after the first score of the game. And the extra point makes it 7-0. They put together an 81-yard drive, and they finished it with a beautiful 15-yard run for the score. They're set to kick it off, and this crowd now ready to get behind them. He'll start the return inside his 5. Nice job by the kickoff team. Everybody stayed in their lanes, and they'll stop him at the 16. This place is roaring, and it's going to be so hard to operate under these conditions. He wastes no time and comes out throwing. Complete to the right. He's brought down, but there's a flag on the field. Let's see what the call is. So the big gain, all for naught, brought back due to the laundry on the field, and they'll try it again. They'll give it to the back. Makes a stop in the backfield. He'll lose 4.
And, man, it's nice to have a guy that is just better than your guys. And no matter what play you call, man, how about him getting in the backfield quick, penetrating, using his quickness, and using his strength to get him to the ground. That is a ball.
This crowd trying to make life miserable for this offense. They'll knock him down for a loss of a couple.
Defense is totally ready in this situation, too, because of the field position with the offense backed up. They know they're going to try and run the ball, buy themselves some real estate, but they ain't having it. Lots of bodies in the box, close to the line of scrimmage, and they generate a TFL.
They've got them then deep in their own end, and this crowd trying to help keep them there. Power football with the run. They stop him short of the sticks, and it'll be 4th down. Team makes its way onto the field. 3 and out and not much choice but to get rid of the ball. Sometimes avoiding disaster is the best thing. The punter just gets it out of there. That nifty return sets up the offense and negates some of the yardage on the punt. Guys, this offense will go back on the attack. Back to throw, it's Kelly. Makes the grab. Breaks into the open. Brought down at the 28. A chunk play, 15 yards on that one, and a 1st down.
I love the QB here. He holds it, he holds it, he holds it just long enough to let the receiver run the drag route. And then he puts it out in front of him so he can catch it on the run in stride and then turn upfield to use his speed.
Fires to the big fella. And he's brought down after a nice gain. These routes have some reads and adaptability built in, and the big fella found that cushion and made the play.
Man, it's so awesome how much offenses have evolved. They know exactly what they're getting, where to sit down, quarterback, tight end, on the same page, gets the 1st down.
From the gun, the running back looking for room. Picked up maybe a yard. It's down at the 16.
Man, it's really hard to control the running game if you don't control the line of scrimmage. And how about the defensive line doing a great job attacking those guys up front, not open up lanes to run through. Nice job just nullifying that run altogether.
Didn't get much on 1st down. It's 2nd and 9. Back to pass. Under fire. And the quarterback is sacked. There are penalty flags down, but this might be doubly bad for the offense. I think the penalty might be on them. And now on 2nd down for this offense. Wants to go up top. They'll throw it to the back on the screen. And that one looked great on the grease board, but when they blow it up like that, the defense is going to win every time.
And on those screen passes, I want those defensive linemen to run right up the field, and I want to throw it right over their head where I got some space and I can get my running back going. That is the opposite of what happened right there. There was no space. He couldn't even get going.
On 3rd and long, he's going to have to turn one loose downfield.
I think moving forward on 3rd down, this offense is going to have to be a little bit more aggressive and try to throw it vertically. Start throwing the ball around the line of scrimmage against these guys. They've got way too much speed, and you saw it right there.
Now on 4th down, they'll try to come away with 3. And this will be a bit of a challenge, a 46-yard attempt from the right hash. Never a doubt. And now the lead is extended a little further.
And that's not the way they wanted to end the drive, but nice job being ready and your field goal kicker coming through and putting 3 points on the board.
To kick it off after that last drive, put a 3-spot on the board, and now the defense will try to shut him down. And he'll bring it back. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. They'll go back to work on offense. Coming out on first down with the play fake. He's got him in the flat. Trying to hit him with a quick game on first down, and nothing doing there.
Well, there was really nowhere to go for the quarterback with that football. He's just trying to check it down to his running back, and the defense was there, and they made the play.
The roar of the crowd trying to fuel this defense to keep them pinned in their own end. They'll go to work in the air on second down. Makes the grab down the left side. And they were looking for a chunk play, and they got it. The explosive picks up more than 30.
Man, this offense is so dangerous, Reese. They've got dudes all over the field that can make plays. There's a big gainer in the pass game.
You get a chunk of yards like that, now the defense is really on its heels. Wants to go up top on first down. Snagged in the middle. It's Mathis. They stop him almost immediately. Short gain there, and still a little ground to cover to pick up the first. They'll line up for a second down play. From the gun, they'll try to impose their will. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that.
And that's a great play by the defensive end. The best athletes on the field play defensive end. You can ask anybody. Yes, I agree, Jesse Reese. See, they agree with me. Same thing. But you watch them get off the football, make the play. That's why you put your athletes there.
Trying to move the sticks on third down through the air. He's got an open man. And he will house it.
Quarterback's abilities to read the field is huge. And also the anticipation, the timing. To be able to throw the football, Jesse, and hit a guy in stride so he can get run after the catch and get in the end zone, that was a nice job by the quarterback.
Yeah, it's critical, David. And listen, a lot of times touchdown passes aren't thrown into the end zone. You've got to read the coverage, hit the open guy, and let him do the rest.
He'll try to tack on one more. And with the extra point, the lead is cut to 3. It's 10-7. A very efficient 5-play scoring drive. And they pay it off with a strike from 38 yards out. They're getting set to kick it away, and that last score took a little oomph out of this crowd. He'll bring it out. Nice job by the kickoff team. Everybody stayed in their lanes, and they'll stop him at the 16. All right, guys, so here's the offense back on the field again. Leaves it with the back. Ran to that daylight to pick up 6 to the 22.
Offenses, when they run these RPOs, they just want to be comfortable. The quarterback wants to make the read very easy, very clean. It's your job as a defense kind of create some confusion, speed up that process any way you can.
Got 6 on first down. Now a lot of options on 2nd and 4. Red pass, it's complete. They make the stop, but he'll have enough yardage for a first down.
Nice completion here to this wide receiver, and you're going to see this receiver line up in different spots all over the field all game long. Defense has got to keep their eye on where this guy is because they know he's a big part of this offense's success.
They'll put it in play from the 27, first down. Looking to throw, it's Kelly. Fires to the big fella. And a good job in coverage there as they stop it after just a few.
Man, we're seeing the tight end used more and more in the passing game. You see him moving inside. You see him moving outside. You see him moving in the box to block people. So here they put him in the slot and just have a nice little pitch and catch session.
Now this is the way to come out of the gate and set the tone. Back and forth and already inside a minute to go in the first. Right on the money. And he's down at the 41. That's a first down.
Slant routes, they're good against man coverage, but they're good against zone coverage too. If that receiver can find the soft spot between the linebacker and the DB, you'll take that throw all day.
A promising start to this drive. They've moved the chains a couple of times. Now they've got it first down at the 41. To the air on first down. Caught in the backfield, it's Brown. And good coverage by the defense, just a short gain.
Second down coming up.
We're through one, and what a back-and-forth battle between these two quarterbacks as we look at the stats. Lots of time left, and we're ready to get back to it and open the second period. The pull and throw off the RPO. Didn't pick up a lot there, moved it forward just a few.
It's hard to have success on wide receiver screens when you're facing press man coverage because your blockers out front oftentimes can't pick them up, and that receiver gets gobbled up as soon as he catches the pass. You saw it on that last play.
Just keep slinging it. Here's a heat. Quarterback feeling that pressure, and he's knocked down at the 42.
Sometimes you beat your guy and you get sacked so clean, and sometimes, like on this play, the DBs do a great job covering, make the QB hold the football, and then the rush gets home.
They bring the punter onto the field now. They'll boot it into the night sky for the first time. Fair catch is made at the 15-yard line, and that's where they'll start this drive. Here comes the offense back onto the field. They'll run it from the gun. They shut it down quickly, but he gets two out to the 18.
That's a really good job by the defense, wrapping them up, getting them on the ground, take away that run game, make them one-dimensional, put them in passing situations. Really good job by the defense.
After picking up a couple at 2nd and 8. Trying to impose their will with the run. Picks up the first down, still moving. Now they've got even more breathing room out to the 31 and a fresh set of downs.
You know, as a defense, you can have the right call and the right guy in the right spot, but that guy's just too good. And how about the running back on that play? Just making it happen, breaking off the huge gain. It's tough to get these guys on the ground.
Trying to hit the sideline on the right. Spins away from one. Made a defender. Oh, he did it again. He's loose. They're ripping off chunks of yardage. They get it to the 33. And let's hold on just a minute here as the officials are going to have a second look. And you know the standard is indisputable video evidence, and the officials will change the call. Looking to throw on first down. Trying to get behind the defense. Pulls it in on the left. Brought down at the 20-yard line after ripping off the big play.
Yeah, and the quarterback knew exactly where he wanted to go with the football, had time, spins the ball deep. Nice job by this offense, understanding what the defense is giving them and creating the explosive play.
Offense goes on the attack on 1st and 10. Running back searching for a hole. Makes his man miss. Stopped at the 13-yard line as the drive continues.
How about the play by the speed back? You think about speed, you think about breaking ankles. He broke the tackle because he's so fast, moving so fast, hard to get the guy on the ground.
Operating in the red zone here on 2nd down. Looking to fire. Going for 6. Snagged in the end zone. Velcro on the hands and it's a touchdown.
One of the areas they really focused on with this receiver in the offseason was we need you to make more plays for us in the end zone. When we're taking shots, we need you to be able to step up and make tough catches. And David, what a grab right there.
And I think a lot of that has to do with trusting your guy, knowing where he's going to be, knowing when he's going to sit down, when he's not. So being on the same page, and then having a guy that can go get it. Just when the ball is near him, he's going to make the play, just like he did right there for 6 points.
They'll try to add another to their lead. And with the extra point, they're up 14-10. So that scoring drive took only 6 plays. And they finish it by firing one in from the 13 for the score. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. He'll bring it back from inside his 5. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. Guys, this offense coming back out onto the field. To the ground with the back. Big time play by the defense. He'll lose 4.
This offense has really struggled, and I think you're just waiting for one play, one explosive play to happen to hopefully galvanize you a bit offensively. That's not the case, and there, they try to run the football in the first play of the drive, and it gets absolutely blown up for a loss.
Dropping back, it's Kelly. He's going to fire deep. And that one's incomplete. Worth taking a shot there, but couldn't hook up.
And as an offense, you want to stay aggressive. You want to keep calling these downfield shots. I know you didn't complete that one, but you want to send a clear message. You're trying to take the top off this defense. You keep calling downfield shots. You soften up the coverage. You get those safeties playing deep. That's going to open up your running game later on.
On 3rd and long, no secret what he needs here. And that one's incomplete. They weren't just trying to move the chains. They were trying to move the scoreboard. Instead, it's 4th down.
Well, we know this offense hasn't been able to get it going on the ground so far in this game. Now they're trying through the air, but give this defense credit. They've got a really good game plan. They've got all 11 guys on that side of the ball executing perfectly. Fantastic job in the back end that time, being in position and making sure that thing fell incomplete.
Good job by the coverage unit to stop the return man. And let's see what kind of ball plays this offense has ready. They'll ride the running back and leave it with him. He's going to lose a yard on that one.
You know, the runner just...
Back to pass. Get it out on the screen. Brought down just short of the sticks on the screen pass.
Love the execution there on the screen. The running back shows pass protect, last second turns around, so he's able to get the ball. The D linemen have already run past him. Now he can turn upfield for a big gainer.
Here comes this home crowd as the defense tries to get off the field on 3rd down. Off play action. Complete in the middle. That'll be enough for the 1st down as they mark it down at the 31-yard line. These two guys, just on the same wavelength, they make clutch connections all the time.
And that's practice, man. That's all summer. That's all spring. Just so many hundreds and thousands of balls where you know exactly when that guy's going to break. You know he's a stud. You're going to feed him, especially on these 3rd down situations.
Able to scrounge 3 yards out of that one somehow. It's 2nd and 7.
It's a nice job by this defense. Understand, listen, that QB is a threat, and they're going to run all kinds of options. He's going to run the football. They were dialed in. He got that sucker to the ground.
Try to make up for some of that lost ground on 2nd down. Wants to go up top. Fires to the wideout. Caught over the middle. It's Mathis. And a confident throw and catch, and they're in the red zone at the 13.
This offense is clicking, and clearly everything is working. The offensive coordinator's calling good plays. The quarterback and his unit is executing. And this defense right now, they have no answers.
It's 1st and 10 from the 13. Looking to pass inside the red zone. It's complete on the right side. They'll get it down to the 8-yard line on that throw and catch, and the defense is backed up against the wall. Going to work on second down in the red zone, and still some ground to cover to pick up that first down. Looking to fire. Makes the catch. He's brought down, but there's a flag on the play. Let's see if it stands. That last one was just a crushing penalty for this defense. Here comes 2nd and 1. Back to pass. Lets it fly. And he's got it in the end zone.
This offense is really dangerous because of the weapons they have on the perimeter of the field. And you're seeing they go to these guys early, and they try to give them opportunities in one-on-one situations and vertically down the field. 2 passing touchdowns now early for this offense.
PAT unit on the field. And with the extra point, it's a 21-10 game. They marched the ball 51 yards for the score. And they capped the drive with a 4-yard touchdown pass. They're coming out to tee it up for the kickoff, and that last score was a real buzzkill for this crowd. And he passes on the touchback. Here he comes. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. The give to the left. Get some work done there. Pick up a 4 to the 22.
And I kind of like how the running back didn't mess around. Like, just get downhill when you see an opening. A lot of times they close so fast, man. Be decisive, stick your foot in the ground, pick up 3 to 4, and we are not going to complain.
Solid pickup of 4 on first down. It's 2nd and 6. Looking downfield, it's Kelly. Gets it out fast. And they'll stop him just short of the first down, just inches away from moving the sticks.
And a really nice job by the wide receiver. You run a drag route, find space. They're in zone coverage. They're not covering man-to-man. Find a little hole. Look at that QB. Y'all get on the same page. You could tell they were, and that's why they got the first down.
He'll keep it on the sneak. Drag down, but they'll move the sticks for a first down. Sometimes you might be tempted to get a little tricky there. Got a quarterback, he can fall forward, he can move the chains. Just do that.
I agree, because if I can't get short yardage situations with a quarterback sneak, I don't deserve to win anyways. So I better be able to toughen up, get a little bit of push, and get the yardage.
He finds a dead spot in the middle. Out across the 30 to the 39 after getting 10 on that one.
And that's a great example of this quarterback having intense confidence in his own arm talent. That was not an easy window to throw into, but he had the ability, and he knew it.
They'll snap it from the 39, 1st and 10. Pulls it and fires to the left. Still on his feet at the 45. Just making a huge play, and he sets him up all the way down at the 14.
How nice is it as a quarterback when you don't have to throw post routes to get great stats? No, I can just throw it quickly to one of the fastest players in the entire nation and let him burn this defense.
They've got him wobbling after that big play now to pay it off on 1st and 10 from inside the 15. Unleashes to the end zone. It's caught. That's a touchdown.
And a really nice job understanding I got to get to that gap where there's a little bit of open space in the middle of the field. When I run that post route, the QB lays it out for him, and he catches it, gets 2 feet in bounds, in the end zone, touchdown.
Lining up for the PAT. And they tack on the extra point to cut the lead to 21-17. So that scoring drive took only 6 plays. And they top it off with a 14-yard pass for the touchdown. They're set to kick it off. You think this crowd's going to get loud when their defense comes on the field? The returner will field it and try to set up his offense in great field position. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. Tight end now in motion. The give to the tailback. And he knocked him down after a gain of 3 to the 23.
And that run really didn't go anywhere. And a lot of times we don't focus on it enough, but how important those 5 guys are up front. To get on those defensive linemen, to try to move them out of the way, to get a run game going, it squarely falls on the shoulder of those 5 offensive linemen.
After the productive first down play, it's 2nd and 6. From the gun, running back on the move. Finds his way ahead for 5, and now they've got it at the 28.
And I would just hate to be in the shoes of these defenders trying to tackle this running back because, of course, you're so afraid of this guy shaking you and using his elite speed to make you look bad on a highlight film somewhere, but you forget this guy can still run you over. And you saw it on that one.
Better find the earplugs. Here comes the noise, backing this defense on 3rd down. They'll try to get the first through the air. Flips it out in the flat. We got a timeout here late in the first half, and they'll try to get more points on the board before the break.
When they try to spit it out to the running back on the perimeter of the field, you saw the speed and recognition by the defense, though, how quickly they were able to get to the back and get him down for a big loss.
Let's see what he can do with it. He'll put that return to a stop at the 33, but the offense set up in pretty good field position. Decent field position to start this drive from their own 33. Grabbed behind the line, it's Brown. And he never had a chance. As soon as he caught it, the defense was right there.
Well, they're trying to set up the screen pass to the running back, just nowhere to go after he caught the football. The defense completely swarmed around him, and that's a loss.
Plenty of work to do here on 2nd and long. Looking downfield, it's Kelly. He's got him. They bring him down, but a solid pickup to put them in position to pick up a first down.
When these wide receivers work the middle of the field, so much of this is feel. Understanding where the holes are in the zone or understanding how to get leverage on a man. And these wide receivers are dangerous nowadays because they do it so fast and see that so quick and make those plays over the middle.
Here comes the heat. Fires it incomplete.
And money down is where you see defenses really understand where the sticks are, play great pass defense, know what's coming, and get off the field.
And here comes the punt team. Let's see if he can help the coverage team out with this one. He'll field the punt and see what he can get. And they'll get him down after the return at the 27-yard line. They'll get a chance to work on that hurry-up offense here in the final minute of the first half. Fires to the tight end. They'll mark him down at the 37. It's a 10-yard gain.
Nice catch by the big target. Those big tight ends, you could tell in football, are just becoming more and more of a weapon on every single team.
They've got it at the 37. It's 1st and 10. Looking to throw on first down. It's caught. He knew exactly where he wanted to go with that one, and they've got enough for the first down. We've got a timeout in the waning seconds of the half. Maybe a chance to get off a couple more plays. Just a few seconds remaining here as they try to put something up before halftime. Looking downfield on first down. Quickly complete. The offense will stop the clock and use one of its timeouts. Just a few seconds to go here in the first half, and they'll send out the field goal team. Tried to give it enough body English, but he missed it. After the miss, the lead is still 4. We played 2 quarters here. Time to go to Kevin Connors in our halftime update. He'll put toe to leather and get this second half started. And he takes this from inside the 5. And the coverage team able to wrestle him down. So much for the idea of halftime settling down this crowd. They are ready to roll in the second half. First play from scrimmage, and they'll keep it on the ground. Gets it out to the 20 after he pick up a 4. There on first down, it's 2nd and 5. Trying play action. Hit as he throws. Can't make the connection. The pressure there caused the missed timing.
Well, on offense, no doubt, right? You've had success. You're throwing some tutties. Why not keep throwing it? They're going to keep being aggressive. You're going to have to do a better job, though, keeping this quarterback standing up.
A 3rd and short coming from their own 20-yard line. From the gun, wants to pass. Finds his big tight end. A little more space. Open up that playbook even more as they pick up the first down out to the 30. This tight end just creates matchup problems no matter how you try to defend him.
How about the catch radius on him, too? So as a quarterback, you don't have to be perfect when throwing it to him. You just got to get it somewhere in his vicinity, and he can come up with the catch.
Pulls and throws off the RPO. Turns it on in midfield. There he goes. The tag. Finds the finish line for the touchdown. He has been surgical. Precision passes, using the scalpel, the fine instrument, rather than the blunt one.
And the defense has had absolutely no answer for it. Just, he's been down their throats all game long, a step ahead, understanding what he's seeing, and just destroying this defense.
Lining up to tack one more onto that lead. And with the extra point, we have a 28-17 ball game. Quick work on that scoring drive, just 4 plays. And the points come in a lightning strike, a 70-yard touchdown pass. The kickoff unit is out there, and boy, did that last drive quiet this crowd. Here he comes from inside his own 5. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. So we'll see the offense on the field to start this drive. They go to the ground. He's brought down, but there's a flag on the field. Let's see which way that's going to go. The officials offer the deal, and the coach accepts it. They will take the penalty. Running it to the right. Spins away from the defense. He'll bounce his way ahead for a pickup of 4 out to the 14.
Well, they're going RPO. Nice job handing it off, and really good vision there, just getting what he can get, right? Puts his foot in the ground, gets forward, helps this offense find positive yards.
What will they dial up on 2nd and a long way to go? Wants to throw. It's Kelly. And they can't connect, but the flag flies, and I think this is going to be pass interference. Boy, as a defense, you hate to just hand out first downs on a penalty. Wants to throw on first down. Finds the tight end. A most efficient pickup of 6 on first down. It's 2nd and 4.
I'll tell you, when you've got a tight end like this, it makes it a lot easier calling pass plays on first down, even if the defense is in zone coverage. He did a really good job there, working his leverage, finding the soft spot, and making it an easy completion.
Got some of the work done on first. Now let's see what they have on 2nd down. Brown has it. They've got it out to the 34 after getting 5 there.
I'll tell you, this this running back, he is running behind an offensive line that is playing in unison right now, doing a great job communicating pre-snap. They're getting hats-on hats in the run game.
Lining up from the 34 on first down. Wants to go up top on first down. Oh, what a spectacular layout and catch. It is plays like that that'll let you pile up some serious passing yards.
What an effort. I mean, the layout to be able to catch the football, keep it off the ground. Nice job by this receiver, and that's why this quarterback's had a day. Guys making plays all over the field.
They'll leave it with him. And there was nowhere to go, just stopped in his tracks in the backfield.
Brings up.
And coming out in the second half, this offense, they needed to establish this run game. They needed to get something going. They're losing. They've got to find a way to get a flow, to get a rhythm. And so far here to start this second half, defense picking up where it left off.
To the air, it's Kelly. Looking to the big tight end. And it'll be incomplete. This defense is physical in pass deep.
Hey, man, if you're going to force incompletions when the QB's thrown to the tight end, you better be physical. Nice job with the hit, forcing that incompletion.
And this offense just can't afford not to get the first down here. Already trailing big, and the clock is not their friend. On third and long, doesn't need to take the check down. Wide open downfield. And this defense's head is spinning. He gets it down to the 27.
Well, I think on that play you saw why this guy's such a big weapon in this offense. At receiver, he does such a nice job with his routes. He's patient, and he's consistent, and he's got good hands. You don't see him put a lot of balls on the ground. Nice job there picking up the first down.
Trying to make that rush think on the draw play here.
And the defense doing a great job committing to the run. When you commit to the run like this, obviously you can give up some plays in the passing game, but you got to stop the run first.
After the 3-yard pickup, they come to the line, 2nd and 7. The RPO, fire complete to the left. And just a short, safe pass play. They pick up a few.
This slot receiver gives defensive coordinators nightmares. You have got to double him virtually on every pass play. He better have safety help over top. Otherwise, this guy's a threat to score every time they throw the ball.
The play action fake. Buys a little extra time. Got some room in under the goal line. They'll finally get him stopped at the 1-yard line. What a run there.
And they're going to need a lot more of this to get back in this football game. They're trailing. They're trying to make plays. I like the decision-making of the young man. They don't force the football. We already got to make big plays. The defense knows it, too. Nice job pulling it down, scrambling, getting the first down. Now you got to keep it going.
And it's in for a touchdown.
Down here close on the goal line, you got to have great timing, and there was no hesitation by the quarterback. As soon as he saw his target open up, he fired that football in for 6.
They're going to go ahead and go for 2 here and try to make it a field goal game. Back to throw, it's Kelly. He's got it in the end zone for the 2 as they draw a little closer. They go 83 yards on the drive. It was capped off by a 1-yard touchdown pass. They're ready to kick it away, and this crowd is buzzing after that last score. On the move from inside his 5. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. And the offense heads out onto the field to get the drive started. They'll run it out of the shotgun. He's going to lose a yard on that one.
Great play by the defense there, getting the tackle for loss. But on offense, your mindset has to be, we need to be the more physical team here in the second half. We've got the lead, third quarter. We want to run the ball. We've got to have more success getting our blocks and moving forward if we're going to win this game.
After getting knocked back to open this drive, it's 2nd and 12. And the pressure gets him back at the 8-yard line.
When you're seeing the pass rush on the second play of the drive, they dial it up. Look at the speed and athleticism this defense has as they corral the quarterback for a loss.
Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. On 3rd and long, hoping to throw beyond the sticks. Not a whole lot of room there on that screen pass as it just never developed.
Well, they weren't able to gain a lot of real estate on that last completion deep down their own end. If anything, if you're looking for a silver lining, I guess the punter maybe has a little bit more room to try to get one off now on 4th.
The punt team makes its way onto the field. 3 and out, they got stuck in reverse. They hope the punt can bail them out. He gets a block. And the punt team gets down there and gets the return man on the ground. Now they'll try to cash in this drive. 1st and 10 from the 50. They'll try to pop the draw. Oh, he's got some space. They make the stop, but there is a flag on the field. We'll see what that's all about. So the decision has been made, and the coach will take the penalty. Here's a quick throw out to the left. And a good job of coverage by that defense. Just a short pickup.
Great play by the cornerback. He was just way too physical at the point of attack. He beat his man trying to block him, and he tackled that receiver on the screen.
2nd down coming up. To the air. It's Kelly. Sets up the screen. No, sirree, not this time. The defense was there and ready for that one.
And you're trying to get the ball to the running back quick and let him get some space, but there was absolutely no space. They penetrated quickly, and they got him before he could even get going.
They've got to come up with a big play on this 3rd and long. Looks as if they didn't get it off in time. It'll be a delay of game. That is a completely avoidable penalty. The quarterback just went into brain lock and lost track of the play clock. On 3rd and long, a check down would be the last resort. Grab behind the line. It's Brown. And that did not work. Defense smelled that one out from the beginning.
Well, the offense on 3rd down there, they're just trying to spit the ball out quickly and see if they can get a block and get north. But the defense, really nice job getting after the catch, getting a tackle, and now setting up 4th down.
Punt is in the air. Making sure there's no return on that one as the punt sails out of bounds. To the air on 1st down. Snagged out of the air. Put it right on him. Sweet play. Good pickup, and they'll move the chains with the 1st down.
At the 37. 1st down for the offense.
Pass completion, move the sticks, and let's see if they try it again. From the gun, they'll try to impose their running game. Big pickup on the ground here to keep this drive moving and give them a 1st down.
Well, obviously the offense went 3 and out on their last drive. They're having a little bit more success here. That was a nice run, and I think that's the key, guys. If they're able to run the football, they're going to be able to stay on the field. And I think that's something you want to think more about if you're the play caller on offense.
Off the play fake on 1st down, wants to throw. Got out of trouble, got rid of it. He's got it. He's brought down quickly. Minimal gain there. Still a bit short of the 1st down.
again, this is a running back that can hurt you running it between the tackles, and he's dangerous out in space. They like to throw it to him out on the perimeter as he picks up a couple of yards there.
Offense gets set for second down. They'll run play action. And the heat gets home. They knock him down back at the 45.
When it's a play-action pass, that quarterback, he really has to sell the fake. He can't tell his offensive lineman's getting beat right away while he's selling the fake. He had no shot.
Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. On third and long, he has to throw for it. Grabbed in the middle, it's Mathis. Doesn't quite make it to the first down marker. He's a yard short.
It's a nice job running the in route there by the receiver. The best thing he did after he made his break, he didn't trail and fade away. He actually attacked the football. That's a good lesson for young receivers out there watching.
And here comes the field goal unit for the second time tonight. This whole place going to see if this kicker can operate in a sea of noise. The official says no good. Guys, a missed opportunity there. The lead is still 3.
And they trusted him. Even after that last miss, they trusted him again to make it, and he misses again. I don't know how much more trust they'll have in him. In good weather, not a long kick, second miss of the day, we might not see him again.
Wide receiver going in motion. Dropping back, it's Kelly. Caught behind the line, it's Brown. And the defense had that one well covered, just a short game there. They were able to get the ball to the running back in space, but that space just evaporated.
And a great job by the defense, man. It's tough to get those guys on the ground. They're so used to having the football as running backs and making plays and being dynamic. So usually one guy not going to get him to the ground. You want many guys swarming to the football, trying to get that elusive guy on the ground.
And talk about spreading the ball around. Everyone getting a chance to show off the hands based on the number of targets we've seen. Not only is the scoreboard on their side, but so too is time as we open the fourth. Second down, he'll throw it. It's on target and complete. Finds enough room to get it up to the 44 before he's knocked out of bounds.
It's so nice as a quarterback when you've got a guy like that working for you in the slot. He has such a good feel to find the open spaces in the defense. Just makes life so much easier for his quarterback.
He's looking to throw on third and short. Got it in the middle, it's Brown. He gets the job done on third down. They move the chains. It's at the 37.
I love running the angle route, whether it's on first down, second down, third round. It's a really good route. It's a safe route. Just takes a little bit of timing over the middle of the field. But, hey, again, getting it to a playmaker in space, always winning.
From the gun, leaves it on the inside with the back. Really good job by everybody there. Well blocked, good run, and a first down.
Love the play call on the RPO, and you're just really trusting this running back to be able to make a guy miss and then get into the second level. The offensive line did their job, gave him a crease, but that was the running back making that linebacker miss in the hole before getting north.
Down to the 23 for this 1st and 10. Motion from the wideout. Touch pass on the jet sweep. And that's a very productive first down play and bringing up 2nd and 3.
And that's a really good job by the defense reacting to what they see. They see the quarterback flip it forward on the touch pass. Now got to go get it, right? Corral that football. He picked up some yards, yeah, but you didn't give up that big explosive play, and now you have to make him earn it now on the next down.
Back to pass, it's Kelly. Quarterback strolling away from heat. And he scoots his way to the first down and then slides to avoid the hit.
Man, you cannot coach this to quarterbacks. Hard focus downfield, soft focus around you. As soon as he felt the lane, he was gone. No second guessing at all. That was picture perfect, and he uses his speed to just gash the defense.
A first down run in the red zone. And he'll be stopped for no gain, still sitting at the 3-yard line.
And it really doesn't matter what the decision is on the RPO. When your defensive line can reset the line of scrimmage like that, get off blocks and make plays.
Got nothing last time. Now 2nd and goal from the 3. Wants to go up top. Trying to find the end zone. And he'll go out of bounds just short of the goal line, and they've got it right on the doorstep.
Well, short completion setting up 3rd down now. Who is your best playmaker that you can target in this area of the field?
If they can get it into the end zone here, they can really turn up the heat in this one. 3rd and goal. He's looking to throw. Got it behind the line. It's Brown.
And that's a big stop by this defense. And now, man, this is decision time. If it's at the 5, if it's at the 10, I'm kicking the field goal, tying this thing up. But so close to the goal line, do you want to roll the dice to still maybe take the lead in the 4th quarter here?
So here we are on 4th down, and this field goal kicker is going to face all the pressure in the world. It's good. He hit that one right down the middle. Guys, we have a tie ball game here in the 4th.
Man, so many more times we're going to say, go for it, be aggressive. Nice to have a guy you can depend on, and you know you're putting 3 on the board. Nice kick, nice job.
We've got a dandy going here, all tied up in the 4th quarter and about to kick it away. Bringing it back. And the returner will be dragged down. Here comes the offense onto the field again. Goes to the option. Oh, he was in the backfield immediately. A 3-yard loss.
Phenomenal job by the defense that time, shutting down the option play. They knew they were going to see this in this game, and all week long in practice, they really focused on this assignment football, making sure the dive, the quarterback, the pitch, all taken away. Nowhere to go with the football that time offensively. The defense coming up with a huge negative play.
Couple of guys there to get him on the ground.
And I know it's not a 1st down, but I still like the way they're laying the football here. Just try to make the next 3rd down manageable. Try to get it where it's not as predictable. I think the offense did a really good job being smart there, taking what the defense gave them.
Decibels rising as the crowd gets behind this defense on 3rd down. They'll run the option. Ball's free. Ball bounced right to him, and he's on the move. He'll be knocked out of bounds after picking up a few.
Great job by the defense, forcing the fumble, but a bad, unfortunate bounce, and the offense pounces back on it.
Now on 1st and 10 from the 27. Give to the running back. Stopped in the backfield. He's going to lose 3 yards on the play.
And how about that defense in the backfield? Nowhere to go right away. You could tell they were playing the run game all the way, and they got in the backfield and got the tackle for a loss.
Couldn't get him blocked on that last one. Now it's 2nd and 14. Softened him up with a run, and now to throw. He'll get rid of it. Makes the grab. They bring him down, but not before he's able to pick up the 1st down.
And, man, this quarterback has had a day. With that pass, he goes over 300 yards on the day. Really nice job executing, putting up some yards today. Pretty good day for the young man.
They've already converted a couple of times on this drive. Now 1st and 10 from their own 39. Throws for the tight end. Complete to the right. They'll get him down, but not before he crosses the 50. He's down to the 49.
It's really hard when you get in those predictable situations. Defenses are sitting on the sticks. Receivers have to understand where that 1st down marker is. Heads up play, nose for the 1st down marker. Get in there and get it.
Just nosing into enemy territory at the 49. It's 1st and 10. The give to the running back from the shotgun. This junior making his presence felt and making the stop after a short gain.
And what's the closest guy to the football, man? It's those defensive tackles, and those guards and centers have to work together. They got to get those guys and get some movement. They don't on this play, and the big fella eats. Nowhere to go. When you run into him, you usually meet the ground.
Second down, they'll go to the air. Got him downfield. They'll ride him out of bounds after the good pickup spotted at the 25-yard line.
Well, he has been the go-to guy all game long. He has been lighting up the scoreboard. This defense cannot cover him.
Down to the 26-yard line and a first down. Pulls and fires complete. They make the stop, trying to pick up just a little bit at a time to get to that first down marker. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. Line getting set on second down. Give to the back. And he never had a chance. Just stopped cold as soon as he got it.
I love when you start bringing linebackers up near the line of scrimmage and you start sending them, because those guys have serious speed. They can come catch anybody up and down the line of scrimmage. The linebacker, you could tell, he had a good clue what was going on. He knew it was a run play, fired, pulled the trigger, came downhill, and attacked the running back.
On third and long, trying to have a big completion here. The pass is incomplete, but there's a flag in the backfield, and that shot the quarterback took might have been a little too much. 3 yards, first down for the offense after that penalty. Might as well stick with him. He had all kinds of company as soon as he got it. He had to fight his way back just to get to the line of scrimmage.
And just a great job by the defense being stout, right? That's your job. Be stout up front, stuff in the run play, make them get in more passing situations, but do not let them run the football. That's 101. Stop the run first.
Second down coming up on this red zone opportunity. Looking to fire. He caught it. And he wanted to score badly, but the defense wrestles him down at the 2.
These third downs are so critical in deciding the outcomes of football games, especially when you start to get closer to the end zone. You drill it, you practice it. This offense needs to be dialed in, needs to be in rhythm, and needs to execute on this third down.
They'll try to get the edge with the toss play here. Can't quite cross the plane to get the 6, but they'll have the first down.
Well, I think this running back has proved in this game here tonight that he can be counted on and relied on, right? In a big moment right here, late in the game when they need to run the ball to ice this thing, he's able to deliver.
And this offense is so close they can almost taste taking a fourth quarter lead, but they don't want to leave too much time on the clock for an answer. And he was pushing for that goal line, but the D stopped him at the 2.
And the defense, man, playing aggressive, playing uphill, playing in the backfield. Nice job getting penetration, getting that pass before it really even gets started. Nowhere to go, nowhere to run. Nice job by the defense.
These fans raising the volume on second and goal. Great penetration by this defense, and they knock him down behind the line. A loss of 1.
And with the stuff there, Jesse, on second down, this little third to mid-range, you got 2 downs. What are you thinking here?
Maybe getting your quarterback out on the perimeter and giving him a run-pass option. See if you can get the defense in a bind.
Third and goal, and let's see if they can even operate in this noise. This crowd knows when to bring it. Forward. They got 0 push up front, and they stopped him in the backfield. Referee signals timeout. It's the defense wanting to make sure that they have everything just right with a big play coming. So on fourth down, here comes the field goal kicker in a huge spot. No good. After the miss here in the fourth quarter, still deadlocked.
Well, that's one the kicker would like to have back. That's a kick he should be making in his sleep.
They'll snap it from the 20 for the opening play of this drive. From the gun, the running back has it. That may not look like a huge run, but they'll take it as it gets them up to the 24.
And you got to bang a timeout right here. You've got 2 left. After running the football, save as many seconds as you can to give yourself an opportunity to come back and win this game.
Solid pickup of 4 on first down. It's 2nd and 6. Scanning the field, it's Kelly. And that pass will be jarred loose on 2nd down. That brings up 3rd down.
Decisions, decisions, decisions. If you're the quarterback right now, that's the most important thing. You cannot put the football in harm's way. Tie football game late, but with these timeouts in your back pocket, you've got an opportunity to drive the field and win this thing. You just cannot throw the ball to the other team.
Blasted as he lets it go. Another incompletion on 3rd down.
After that incompletion, now 4th down in your own end. With this much time left, do you trust your defense to get a stop? That's the question you've got to ask yourself. If you don't, then you need to go for this right now, and you need to try to go win this game.
Sometimes in life, there's only one thing to do. Punt. And they should punt. Looking for running room, he'll get it to the 43-yard line before he stops. Good field position here as they start this drive from their 43. First play of the drive, wants to throw. Hauls it in. There he goes. Strolls into the end zone for a touchdown.
And they're able to score on a drive where they had to have it this late in the game, and they look to their playmaker on the outside to win that one-on-one matchup.
Big-time moments. Who do you trust as a quarterback? You could tell this was a big moment. He threw it to his big play wide receiver. He knew he would come down to it, and now the big play in the 4th quarter for the touchdown.
They'll try to add another to their lead. The extra point is good, and now in the 4th, they're up by a touchdown and an extra point. That's the kind of drive everybody loves. So see quarterback, one snap, put it in the end zone. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. The drive starts from their own 25-yard line. Pulled and finds his man on the left. They immediately call timeout, trying to preserve every second they can to try to rally here late. Let's see what they've got on 2nd down. Leaves it with the running back. Nice move there. He finds enough daylight and gets it out across the 45, out of bounds at the 47, and a big run there. No time to waste here. They've got to get set and pick up chunk yardage. Out of the gun, they give to the back. This has been happening all night. They stubbornly keep giving him the ball, and the defense is all over him.
Home crowd not going to love it. You got to throw the ball to win this game. They do not like the play call with not a lot of time left in the game.
They've got to move quickly here. Still a chance, but they've got to force the ball down the field. Here's the pressure. Keeps it and gets the first down. Good run on the play, and he slides to avoid the hit. Offense takes a timeout. 27 seconds left. In search of that tying touchdown. They've moved the chains a couple of times. It's 1st and 10 again. They've been running it, but now the pass. Finds his man. It's Brown. They stop him almost immediately. Short gain there, and still a little ground to cover to pick up the first.
second down.
And this offense, they got another positive game, but I think they're going to have to start pushing the ball down the field a little bit. Got to make some plays. That clock is not your friend. You got to speed up, maybe work the middle of the field a little bit, but make sure we get first downs and the rest of the time work the sidelines.
They make the stop and the clock strikes 0, and that will do it for this one. It came down to the final quarter. Clutch plays, guys delivered, and they get the close win.
Yeah, Reese, big-time players make big plays in big games, and that's what happened in this circumstance. As a coaching staff, David, you love this. You know that you have confidence in your guys to go out and be able to execute when it matters the most.
Correct, and you don't know until the games, right? You don't know when those moments present themselves. How are they going to handle it? Great job handling a close game, executing down the stretch like they needed to.
Thanks so much for spending some time with us. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis, and this has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.